So far, this book has been breathtakingly addicting. That was the first breath that I had taken in 3 hours. Okay, like I was suffocating reading this book. Literally chapter 1, and I'm already on my freaking knees. Hi all, it's me, Allison. Welcome back to my channel. Today is the day that I have literally been waiting for since the beginning of this year. Today is release day for Mate by Hazelwood. Now, if you've been watching my channel or literally know me at all, or maybe have just been on my Goodreads at all recently, you will know that I am obsessed with werewolf literature. Bride is actually one of my favorite books of all time. I actually just reread Bride by Hazelwood in my 24-hour reading challenge in anticipation for Mate's release. I am beyond words excited about diving into this book. I actually haven't even read the description of this book. I just knew that I was going to pick it up, and I knew that I was going to have to read it just because of how much I loved Bride and the world that she created there. So in this one, I'm pretty sure we're doing like non-reciprocated feelings. I think because Serena is a hybrid werewolf, that she maybe doesn't feel the pull and the strength of a mated bond like a full werewolf feels. And so that I feel like that might be one of the like issues that we're having in this book. It seems as if Cohen was immediately like, yes, that's my mate. And Serena obviously did not have any reaction to that. So maybe that might be something that we're going to be seeing moving forward. Maybe she's growing into her werewolf instincts. I don't know. We'll see. But the description of this says that as alpha of the Northwest Pack, Cohen Alexander commands obedience. His authority is so absolute, only a fool would threaten his mate. It doesn't matter if Serena doesn't reciprocate his feelings, nothing will stop him from keeping her safe. So she's fully being hunted, I'm pretty sure, and he is doing everything that he can to keep her safe. I have been waiting all day to get in this bed and start this book. I will be silencing my phone. I will be locking my door, and I will be cooped up in this bed until further notice. Thank you so much. Please, literally chapter 1, and I'm already on my freaking knees. This says, she tore him apart and remade him. It took her less than a second. Are you kidding me? That is the one thing that I loved about Bride the most, is that even though this was first person, was it first person? Yeah, it's first person in the point of view of the female main character. But at the beginning of each chapter, you get like a small quote where you're kind of in the head of the male main character. And a lot of those quotes are actually the ones that like sear your soul and make you feel things that you didn't know you were able to feel. Okay. And here we are, chapter 1 starting in strong. Like he is already addicted to her in every single way. Every single way. Okay, so what I'm finding the most different about this so far, I'm only on chapter 3. Okay, so we haven't gotten that far in, but it seems as if this may be a little bit different as far as like the mating bond between these two. So in Bride, I was like under the impression that your mate is like your one true love, and that you're unable to like control yourself when you're around them, and that you're like actually wanting to be with them so badly it hurts. And in this one, it seems like it might be a little bit different. I don't know if like Cohen is just trying to be like nonchalant about the whole thing, but basically he was just saying Lo is just like kind of a bit of a romantic. That's why he fell head over heels for Misery, aka his mate. But the mating bond between Serena and Cohen is basically just a physical thing and not necessarily like, oh, like you're my soul's equal. Once again, that's probably not going to be the case. Like towards the end of this book, it probably will be like he was just trying to give her a choice, didn't want to freak her out because she just found out she's half werewolf, things like that. That is going to be my prediction at this time. It does make me a little sad that that's the way Cohen is explaining this biological, undeniable bond between them two. He's just explaining it as biology decided that we were a good fit physically, and that is like the end of it. They haven't seen each other in a couple of months. She's been kind of like lollygagging in his territory. She's under his protection, but like they don't really see each other. But I will say though, their interactions so far have been very entertaining. And that's the thing about Allie Hazelwood. She knows how to write banter, and she is just so funny. Like all of her books have some kind of humor, and in Bride, Lo and Misery were a little more intense because Lo was like a no-nonsense kind of guy. But it's seeming like Cohen, yes, he can be like wild and aggressive and he is very powerful, but he seems to be very just kind of like go with the flow. Doesn't like to worry too much, I would say. I wouldn't say he doesn't care, but he doesn't like to necessarily worry as much. He's very like loose, I guess. And Serena is also the same way. So they're kind of like bouncing off each other with their banter, and it's getting really good. Like their banter is good, okay? And because she already is aware that they're mates, some of the tension that I was kind of expecting, I guess, in this book isn't as strong at the moment. Like I said, I'm only on chapter 3, so who's to say? But in Bride, like that was like the main interest of their tension, is because Misery did not know that they were mates, and you as a reader knew they were because of the way Lo was acting. And right now, Cohen's not necessarily acting the way Lo did. Obviously, these are two different characters. These are two different stories. I'm just giving you my observations so far, but I am hoping that all of this like nonchalant talk is actually a ruse and he cannot stand the thought of not being around her. That is going to be my guess at this point. Okay, so it's the next day and I've had a very interesting evening. I came home and my neighbor, who I've spoken to a singular time, gave me a flat screen TV for free. So I'm having my TV is now set up. Very cute, very sweet. Also, my cat climbed a tree, which she has never done before in her entire life. That was fun. But in other bookish news, I'm about halfway through Mate. And I wanted to give an update because there are a lot of things that I have found out that I feel like are changing my perspective of things. I don't know if I expressed this. I probably have, but I'm going to reiterate. I love a sick trope. I love in romance books when one of our characters is sick and their counterpart has to take care of them. In this case, we're having terminal illness. Serena was basically given three to 6 months to live. So, and she's keeping it from everyone. She hasn't told a single soul that she's actually dying because she doesn't want to, one, be a bother, and two, she doesn't want to like distract everybody from this like war that's kind of waging because she is being hunted due to her being a hybrid, right? Which we talked about. But she keeps like waking up in these horrible sweats. She's puking all over the place. She can't move. And at this point, Cohen has not been able to witness that at this time, but I feel it coming and I am itching for it. I need it. There is just nothing better than the black cat or black wolf in this case, who literally is just annoyed by every single thing, who also has like a hidden soft heart in the inside. And that is what Cohen is right now. Like he is the alpha of a pack. You know, he does take care of a lot of people. He has a no nonsense attitude and he does not deal with BS. Okay. But I just have a feeling that when he finds out how sick she actually is, he's going to lose his freaking mind. And I'm going to be sacked. I'm going to be sat for it. Also, He did state that he necessarily is not obsessed with her because of the mating bond. It's more of a physical attraction. Every single person who's affiliated with Cohen or is a werewolf in general have seen a noticeable difference in him, and it's because of her. And you know what? That's what I love about Allie Hazelwood. She keeps you, the reader, and the female main character in the dark, holds so many secrets, but drops little hints throughout until it like leads to this big confession that make it so angsty. She is the queen of hidden emotions until it's almost too much to bear. There's also a bit of a unique forbidden romance element to this book because he is the alpha of this pack. He has taken an oath, to be celibate, and not celibate only in the physical sense, but celibate in the way that he's no longer allowed to have like relationships, period, which is obviously so fun considering he just found his mate, which is sweet. That is an interesting tidbit that not only is he like holding back his actual true feelings for her, he's actually doing it because he feels like he genuinely cannot be with her due to being the alpha of the freaking pack. And I do have a feeling that this illness that she speaks of actually can be cured if she just like accepts the mating bond with Cohen. I'm gonna dive back in because this is getting really good. Good morning. I'm getting ready for work, but I did want to give an update about how far I got into Mate last night. So I got about 64%. I did have to switch to my Kindle due to like reading at night. I didn't want to make my eyes burn and strain. So I'm about 64% of the way. And you guys, I don't want to say what the illness was, but let me just tell you that I called it. Okay, from the beginning when she started having these symptoms, I said, "Oh, I know what this is." And I was right. All right. And you know what? It actually is one of my favorite tropes in werewolf books. So, yeah, I'm not going to say much. I'm just going to say that I called it and I am very happy. Thank you very much. Also, now we're getting a little bit more of insight on how Cohen feels about Serena. Also, there's a little bit of like a cult involved in Serena's backstory, or so we think so far. We did find out that her father was a werewolf and her mother was human, and there is some kind of like old cult that the cult leader was like basically promising humans that they would turn them werewolf. For some reason, they're like really attracted to Serena. Like they want her to be like the face of their cult now that their leader is dead. Anyway, it's a whole ordeal. Cohen can genuinely not handle her being out of his sight any longer because he is so terrified to not have her in his life. I just want to say that nobody does it like Allie Hazelwood. She is literally the queen of 1, slow burn, 2, the tension. She is also so good at writing male main characters who are silently yearning in a way that just like suffocates the air out of your lungs. Last night, when I put my Kindle on my nightstand, that was the first breath that I had taken in 3 hours. Okay, like I was suffocating reading this book, and I'm not even 70%. Okay, this has absolutely nothing to do with the book, but I did just get a new Kindle case and it finally came in. So I wanted to do a little unboxing and a haul. So I found this place called The Bookish Goods on Instagram. And now I'm going to show you my new Kindle case. I'm excited. Before I show you the cover, I just want to say I am fully aware that everything I own is this sage green color. You do not have to tell me if you were in my home Basically, everything I own is sage green, and even my Kindle is green, okay? Anyway, just wanted to put that out there. I am aware that I'm addicted to the color sage green, but it's just who I am. Okay, so this is the Kindle case. Tell me this is not the cutest thing you've ever seen. It says, happiest when reading, and it kind of has like this cottage core vibe to it. I'm obsessed. Back to our regularly scheduled program. I am almost done with Mate. Like, look at this. I probably have 2 chapters left, if that. And right. Okay. I have a lot of thoughts, to be honest. So far, this book has been breathtakingly addicting. Like, I feel like I have not been able to put this thing down, and it sucks because I've had the busiest week, and so I haven't been able to read this as like thoroughly as I've wanted to. So thankfully I'm almost done. I was very hesitant going into this book. Yes, it was my most anticipated read this year, but I was scared because Allie also came out with a sequel to Not in Love this summer. I think it was like Problematic Summer Romance. And I was also really highly anticipating that one because of how much I loved Not in Love, right? Problematic Summer Romance did not hit. The only good parts of that book was when we saw the characters from the first book, okay? I was scared that was going to be the case with Mate. And fortunately, like, that's just not the case. I am like really liking how she separated the characters. So basically, yes, we get little snippets from Low and Misery from the first book, but for the most part, it's their own story. Like, this is their story. And with Problematic Romantic Summer, that was just not the case. But this one, they are in different territories. We're exploring new packs. We're exploring new rules, new ways that people lead, especially a new alpha. And I am really loving this book. Obviously, I have a little bit left, and I can already confidently say that this is going to be a 5-star read for me. When we left off, right? I told you that there was something that I had already guessed in my mind, a trope that I'm obsessed with, and it did come to fruition. And let me tell you what, Allie Hazelwood knows how to write a werewolf fiction. I love these two so much, not only because their banter with each other is so funny. I genuinely am finding myself laughing out loud. The thing about Allie Hazelwood is that the way that she can so thoroughly describe something in a very niche and unique way is the reason I think she is one of my favorite authors of all time. She has such a fresh and different perspective about everything in life that you wouldn't even think about until it's written on the page and you're like, yeah, she's right. I am going to finish this book today, and I will give my final thoughts once this is over, but surely you guys wouldn't mind if I actually read on my Kindle now that I have my new Kindle case. Let's finish the best book I've read this year. Well, I officially finished Mate by Allie Hazelwood. To say that this book lived up to the expectations that I had in my head would be an understatement. This book was actually so good. I have to say I'm actually really surprised of how much I actually enjoyed this. After finishing it, I will say that I did not like it better than Bride. I think Bride had more of a romantic piece and a more softer side. When it came to the romance, this felt very like life or death type situation, which is not a bad thing by any means. I did enjoy that, but I think I still enjoyed Bride more, but this was really good. The thing about Allie Hazelwood, she is the queen of just like throwing in every single micro trope that I'm obsessed with and makes it work so seamlessly in every book that she has ever written. This one in particular had some of my favorite, okay, not really a micro trope, but my favorite trope is fated mates. So obviously I was going to be obsessed with this no matter what due to the fated mates of it all. But there were a few micro tropes in this book that I am so obsessed with, and I feel like she did it so well and it went with the story so perfectly. Number one, a sick partner in which you have to take care of her. Obviously, I'm going to eat that up because she is so sensitive to their mating bond. She feels the absolute biological need to be wearing his clothes around. She didn't go a single day in this book where she wasn't wearing an article of clothing that was Cohen's. I also loved the forbidden piece of their romance because he couldn't have actual feelings for her in which he would lose his status as the alpha was a delicious detail that made this romance so much more intense. I think that is actually the best way to describe this book. It was a very intense romance, okay? And I also liked that from the beginning, we were aware they were mates. We were aware that they're obsessed with each other, but it took Cohen a little bit longer to admit to her specifically how much he cannot bear the thought of not being with her or being around her. It was exactly what I needed. It's exactly what I expected. There were so many cameos with Misery, a little bit of Low. I will say, I wish that she would have given us like maybe 2 or 3 cameos of Low and Misery being completely and utterly obsessed and in love with each other. I was expecting more of that just to give us a little bit of where those characters are now. I think if that is the only complaint that I have about this book, then I think we're on the right track. Obviously, it was a 5-star. Like surely you did not watch this entire video and think that I was not giving this a 5-star. I unfortunately think that this has really put me in the mood, and I might have to move forward with looking and finding and devouring other werewolf or vampire literature moving forward. It is October, like it's the perfect time to do this. So if you follow me on Goodreads, literally mind your business. Well, guys, that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this, be sure to like and subscribe if you don't mind. I'll have social media links down below. I have Instagram, TikTok, Goodreads, my podcast. So be sure to check out those links. But for now, bye, guys.